The fighting vehicle Cavalry M3A3 is a rank 6 American light tank with a battle rating of 9.3 in arcade, realistic, and simulator battles. It was introduced in update Ixva Strike. The fighting vehicle Cavalry M3A3 is a rank 6 American light tank with a battle rating of 9.3 in AB, RB, and SB. It was introduced in update Ixva Strike. The M3A3 variant differs mainly from the M3 Bradley by its laser rangefinder, its APFSDS belt for the 25mm cannon, and CITV and more powerful tow missiles. The armor of the M3A3 is significantly upgraded compared to its predecessor, with additional armor plates all around the vehicle. These armor plates make the M3A3 almost impervious to heavy machine guns such as the M2HP and the Dishka. However, any weapon that is about 14.5mm in diameter or larger still poses a significant threat. As such, it is better to avoid taking hits when possible. Ammo is stored in large amounts throughout the tank, with 25mm ammo containers lining the left side of the interior and additional BGM-71 ATGMs stowed on the right side. The loaded ammunition is stored just behind the turret crew, with a linked belt leading upwards into the breech. Penetrating hits that strike any of these ammunition stores have a high chance of setting ammo off. The engine, radiator, and transmission are positioned in the front right of the hull. These components can occasionally absorb hits from smaller caliber weaponry. Battles as a support vehicle. Because the secondary missile launcher deploys only when the vehicle is at low speed, the gameplay should be slower and farther away from the front lines of the battlefield. The TOW-2B modification should be used to its best use, allowing for the player to easily compromise enemy sniper positions using their top-down effect. This vehicle's scouting ability should also be used on hard-to-hit or far-away targets. A secondary use for the vehicle is in more close quarters maps as a flanker, because the 25mm cannon can easily penetrate sides and rear of enemy tanks. Regarding survivability, even the M3A3 has an add-on armor compared to its predecessor. The M3 Bradley still doesn't have enough armor to defend against nearly all threats. This vehicle should be treated as if it can be killed from anywhere, from any round, in any place. In terms of gameplay, a stock M3A3 is actually not as different from a spaded one as with other vehicles. It is missing many abilities such as the TOW-2B missiles, smoke grenades, ESS, engine horsepower, etc. But the stock vehicle is still very deadly on the battlefield, and can be useful to the team. First off, the stock M3A3 is not playable on the front lines, in most cases, as it cannot fire its missiles on the move, and also the APDS rounds in the stock 25mm belt will not penetrate anything heavier than a light tank from the front. Should be played in the second line behind friendly tanks, scouting and supporting them with the 25mm rounds and missiles as needed. The TOW-2 missiles that come stock are great at knocking out tanks from the front, even ones that have ERA. The goal is to not be shot by the enemy, but to get assists with the 25mm gun and kills with the missiles while scouting for the team. If possible, flanking routes or long-range hold-down sniping are also recommended to try to prevent the tank from being hit by enemy fire. In summary, a much more cautious approach should be taken to prevent destruction by enemies and gain RP by gaining assists and kills by supporting teammates. Pros: access to a full belt of 25mm APFSDS shells, higher consistent performance against the sides of enemy vehicles, the M3 Bradley's mixed APDS, HEIT belts. Commander can also access and fire the main gun. Access to the fast-traveling TOW-2B top attack missiles, capable of penetrating the weak top armor of enemy tanks and targeting vehicles that are hiding behind cover. Access to excellent second-generation thermals for the gunner, commander, and even the driver. Good mobility and respectable reverse speed of 13 km an hour. Scouting ability: can use the engine smoke system mechanic, deployment of a smoke screen by using the engine and its fuel. Can engage enemy aerial vehicles with the main gun due to plus 59 degrees of gun elevation. 9 degrees gun depression in a small turret mean you can effectively use hold down tactics. Laser rangefinder to the main gun. Great zoom of 4x to 12x and a good side FOV of 18.6. The TOW-2B missiles, scouting mechanic, and excellent thermals make the M3A3 very effective at top tier. More armor than the M3 Bradley, can absorb up to 30mm APDS rounds as fired, for example, the BMP-2. In some places at range, quick turret traverse. The 25mm APFSDS belts excel against light vehicles and lightly armored MPTs. Slightly less mobile and less acceleration than the preceding M3 Bradley due to the increased weight. Continuously firing the main gun increases dispersion, thereby reducing accuracy. Low rate of fire for the main gun. Cannot fire missiles while moving at a speed greater than 4 kilometers an hour. Missile launchers take some time to deploy. Cannot reliably engage enemy MBTs from the front with 25mm APFSDS. Despite the increase in armor over a regular M3, the armor is still thin and only 3 crew members. Low survivability. Missiles can be detonated when hit by enemy fire, even while still in the launcher. It has a tall profile, and enemy vehicles equipped with thermals can see through your ESS. History. Following the Gulf War of the early 1990s, U.S. engineers developed a new modification of the widely used M3 Bradley in order to incorporate improvements derived from the operational experience gained during the conflict. As such, the Bradley received numerous upgrades to its electronic systems, including a new fire control system, a laser rangefinder, a thermal imaging sight for the commander, along with other improvements to the vehicle's protection and firepower. The M3A3 modification of the Bradley started being shipped to the first U.S. Army units in 1998, with the first vehicles officially entering service in 2000. By late 2010, well over 3,300 Bradleys were converted to the A3 standard, and the vehicle continues servicing as one of the cornerstones of U.S. armored units today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.